It has been a minute, but we are back with the Windjammer. Last time I think I did the Clipper, and these are all kind of tags off of the Age of Sail article. Windjammer is a short one, so we're going to tag off this a little too. Windjammer is a commercial sailing ship with multiple masts that may be square rigged or fore and aft rigged, or a combination of the two. The informal term windjammer arose during the transition from the age of sail to the age of steam during the 19th century. Oxford English Dictionary records the word windjamming from 1886 and windjammer with reference to a ship from 1892. The term has evolved to include such a vessel carrying passengers on overnight cruises in the Caribbean, the U.S. state of Maine, and elsewhere. Etymology for the word windjammer has a variety of associations, both nautical and nautical. Not, not whatever. In the late 19th century, the term was pejorative, as used by sailors aboard steamships. In 1892, Rudder magazine. Wouldn't have expected there to be a Rudder magazine in 1892. They said in a story, the deckhands of the liners contemptuously refer to sailing vessels as windjammers. In 1917, the American Dialect Society recorded residents of the U.S. state of Maine referring to fore and aft sailing vessels as windjammers, in a list of regional word usages. The Oxford Companion to Ships and the Sea calls windjammer a non-nautical name by which square-rigged sailing ships are sometimes known. And the Oxford Essential Dictionary of the U.S. military calls windjammer a merchant sailing ship. Following languages have adopted windjammer as a loan word from English in reference to sailing ships: Czech, Dutch, German, Japanese, Polish, Russian, Serbo-Croatian, and Ukrainian. Um, Any of the following ships may be called a windjammer: a barque, a barkentine, a brig, a brigantine, a clipper, a full-rigged ship, iron-hulled sailing ship, sail-powered cruise ship, or schooner. And in literature, windjammers have figured prominently in both historical and fictional literature. Some examples include The Windjammers by Alan Oliver, um, The Last of the Windjammers by Basil Lubbock, The German Commerce Raiders by Ryan Nopin, House of Windjammer by Richardson, Windjammers and Sea Tramps by Runciman? Never heard of that. I probably said that wrong. Windjammer by Simpson, The Sea Devil, the story of Count Felix von Luckner, the German War Raider from Lowell Thomas. Cool. Yeah, so that's the entire Windjammer article. We'll look at the pictures real quick. Four-masted, iron-hulled bark Herzogen, I don't know, Cecily, I don't know. One of the fastest windjammers built, and it does not look like it's a clipper based on that design, but maybe it is a clipper. A New England windjammer, the Luther Little, a four-masted schooner just after its construction in 1917. Okay. Oh, this is a chart. Windjammers here. A full-rigged ship looks like that. We've got rigging here. Mainmast, fore, aft. I don't know what that would be called. And are these pinnacles? I don't actually know. I'm sorry. This is a bark, I think. Right? Full rigged bark, barkentine schooner. So full rigged bark, barkentine schooner. So schooner has these non-square masts, and it's got three of them. And then it's got, would you call that the jib? I don't actually know. Darn it. I wish I knew more about both. I talked to a friend the other day who is big into sailing about getting me out on the water, and they said, perhaps. Jib and flying jib. So that's the flying jib, that's the jib. I'd assume, maybe. So that's a schooner. Barkentine has two schooner style sails and then one square rigged mast. And three jibs. maybe. A Barque has 2 square rigged, and then shoot, I already forget. A full rigged has 3 square rigged sails. So yeah, seems like Windjammer was just kind of a catch-all for lovely big ships. Let's see how long Barque is. Sorry, I'm clearing my screen of little dust because I'm sitting in the sunlight, so the dust is very visible. Yeah, let's scroll on through this. Barque. A barque or bark, that being spelled Barque, Barc, or Bark, is a type of sailing vessel with 3 or more masts, and main masts square rigged, and only the mizzen, the aftmost mast, rigged fore and aft. What? Okay, a fore and aft rig. That is what the schooners have then. So schooners are made up of fore and aft rig. Okay, let me just read this. Darn it. A fore and aft rig is a sailing vessel rigged mainly with sails set along the line of the keel rather than perpendicular to it, as on a square rigged vessel. Okay, fair enough. Micronesian Wa with crab claw sail. I've seen the article for a Wa before. I don't think I've clicked on it. I've seen it with like outriggers and stuff like that. Is it outrigger or outrigger? I don't know. Probably outrigger. That'll make more sense. So yeah, rather than okay, so it's kind of like what a lot of sailboats today is, I suppose. Fore and aft rig. Cool. Fore and aft rig sails include stay sails. Okay, stays. Cool. Bermuda rigged sails. Pretty. Okay, that's what most sailboats have is a Bermuda rigging. Marconi rig. Configuration of mast and rigging for a type of sailboat, and it's a typical configuration for most modern sailboats. Okay, so fore and aft includes the staysail, which looks like includes jibs, the Bermuda rig, the gaff rigged. Ooh, that's pretty. In which the sail's four-cornered, fore and aft rigged. Okay, I see. It's got 4 corners on it. Can I not hover over that? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gaff sails, gaff rigged sails, gaff sails. What's the difference? A Gunter rig. That's pretty. A lateen sail. Oh, is that like on an Alcord sunfish? Let me see. Alcord sunfish. Yeah, one of these guys. These are really cute little boats that are literally like a paddleboard size. Maybe a little bigger than a paddle boat. They're like a paddleboard. Sorry, I think they're like 14 feet. Well, there's a sunfish and what, like a starfish? No, not a starfish. Sailfish. Sunfish and a sailfish, and one of them is bigger than the other. But these are like usually one-person boats, but I guess you can fit 2. And they're just really cute to see out in like the bay because they always have pretty sails. They're just so cool. I've always wanted one because that's the kind of thing that like I feel like maybe it wouldn't be easy to learn on because it's so like you can't take it out in rough wind because it'll just be devastated. You don't have enough to work with. I think I don't know. They're just so cool. But once you get the hang of sailing, they just look like so much fun. Look at that. Woo! Leaning off. Sailors gotta have really good abs.